Hey there, Sam.
Oh, hi, Jamie.
So
How today?
that's pretty good. Just getting started here. How about you?
Yeah, same here.
You're not just getting
It's good.
started, are you? You're
Yeah, but I'm
almost done with your day, right?
yeah, almost finished.
Well, let's see. I wonder if Don's gonna come today. Did
I have a question.
oh sure, yeah.
Do you know how to do a refresh for in the web viewer? Just call the low web viewer script. Actually, I'm working on the add-ons, but I so in the add in the add-on when I change the data, it will refresh for about 5 to 10 seconds, I think. If I want to force it to refresh the whole application, is there any ways to do so?
What are you trying to do? What are you working with?
I'm working on the add-on.
The add-on.
Yeah, but when I change some of the data in FileMaker, it will refresh the whole application after I think 5 to 10 seconds or something. If I want to force it refresh the application, is there any way to do that? I've tried to create and dummy properties. Let's say account. I initiated as 0, and when I do something, I add 1 to this property, and it seems it does not work. It doesn't work. Yeah.
And you want to refresh that from FileMaker.
Yeah.
Are you using a specific library that's in this, or just something else?
Yeah. Specific library.
Which one?
Use Big Canada. Have you heard of it?
No. What is that?
Maybe I give you the link.
Okay.
This one.
Okay. Let's see here. So you are trying to add more data to this?
Actually, drag and drop. Change the data. Let's say, for example,
Oh, okay.
change the day from Wednesday to Thursday, something like that. But when I work out the function, but when I drag and drop the a particular event, it will go back to Wednesday, and then when I wait about 5 to 10 seconds or something, it will refresh and update the whole Canada.
Okay. Well,
yeah, maybe you take a look for the documentation first. If you
yeah,
if
yeah.
you have some hints or maybe you can try this and then you can tell me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah, let me
thank
see
you.
here. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, most 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 libraries have a way to refresh itself
Okay.
built in, like you can refetch events, or you can what else could you do? You could, I think that's, so most libraries have a way built in, and you can just call that function with FileMaker. I'll show an example here, but let me find it here. So
Maybe I try to look at the documentation again. See whether I could find out some function, some
yeah,
useful function I could.
so
Yeah.
here's, so I think this is kind of what you're thinking about. Just so this is a C3 library. Do I have that here? Okay, so start it. So there's usually libraries give you a way to, without having to reload it, to push new data into it. This is what you're kind of looking for, right? Something
Yeah.
for the calendar anyway. So I can do a bunch of stuff with this based on. So what the C3 library has is they have a a function here called, like, transform in this case, that will, your chart is on a variable, and then you can call that charts, you can call that charts functionality to transform it. And then, so this is called from FileMaker, and then this is passing the new data in. Same thing for the update chart. When I want to add new data in there, I can call a chart.load, and I can pass in some options that tell it what more to do with the, what columns to add again. So this is how most libraries handle that, where you can actually access the thing and then run a function. So I'm looking in the what you sent me to see if I can find anything like that, because that's typically how I would do it is, and the idea is that you would pass in all of the data again, but with something changed. And I don't know where that is in this. I don't know where it would be. There's no refetch big calendar. So like the full calendar library has a has a refetch option to it. Let's see, I'm gonna find that. Methods. Let's see, full. So calendar fetch events. So, I mean, but this is tricky because you've got to tell it where to get the events. So this is a little bit different. Let's see, fetch. So I don't know, calendars are tough because they don't seem to have, you're not just updating, you're not updating one event, you're having to deal with all of them. And the add-on, the calendar add-on in FileMaker 19 does this decently, does this very well. And if you have the code base for it, you can kind of walk through and see where that's being done. But it's going, after you make a change in a FileMaker card window, you close the web viewer, or you close the card window, and that triggers a script to run, which calls a function in the JavaScript, which goes fetches new data. And because I'm fetching it using its API, I'm not having to reload the whole web viewer. So I don't know. It's
Okay. Thank you.
yeah. I mean, that's a way. I don't know exactly where it's at, but it's a complex thing actually, and it's not something that I teach when I,
Okay.
I'll teach it with this because this is fairly easy, but things like calendars a little bit more difficult. So anyway.
Okay.
I'll explore this though. This is interesting. You're always finding interesting new libraries. So that's cool.
Yeah, you said it have tests on mobile mobile browser.
Oh, okay.
So it may work for some touch events. I don't know because
Yeah,
I'm stuck on on this on this season. So
yeah. I get that that's important. I don't know. I'll have to take a look. I'm gonna write that down and see. Hey, Don.
okay.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing all right.
That's good. That's good.
Hi, Don.
Hello, Sam. How are you?
It's the morning crowd here. Cool. Well, we are actually, I'll keep this up here. We are just playing around here and seeing what's going on. I have some thoughts in mind, but I want to show something that I've been working on. So I have a website. Where is it? Pull this up here. So over the weekend, I was thinking about this and trying to figure it out, but in my website, this is just published to the internet. I have a course schedule here, and this here for a while has been a hard-coded piece of data that I have to put into my website. So I actually have I may have deleted it, but I had in here a hard-coded array of objects that describe this, and then I'm using JavaScript to loop through them and place all of this stuff where it goes in here. But I was thinking about this and I was like, I'm really tired of having to update this because every time you have to make one change, you have to go to your initial code, you have to find the the data, actually it's right here, or it could be right here. You have to find the particular record, you have to change something about it, and then you have to republish the whole website. And that's kind of a pain because you're doing all this stuff. And the reason that gets even more pain is because I had started to use FileMaker. Where'd it go? No, it's come out. I had started to use FileMaker to keep track of all my training sessions. So both the schedule, waiting for it to open up. That's odd. Come on. So I was thinking, like, there's got to be a way to write this stuff in FileMaker. Oh, it keeps doing that. Write this stuff. Here it is. Okay, so write the content. So here's my content. I'll show this here. This is a good example. So I've got the content, everything that I want to teach in my training session. And I wanted to create it in FileMaker because I have all my trainings in here, and I want to be able to, like, say on which day we're doing which lessons and which pieces of content. So I will, like, go get my content and I'll place it in there, and that's all fine and good. But I wanted to be able to publish this. I wanted to be able to publish the schedule, and I wanted to be able to publish the content to my website. So I started to explore the data API script step, not the script step, but the actual data API, where I connected. In fact, I can do this in Postman, where not Sketch, where I was able to set up a connection. Let's see if we can get this going. So I first learned how to, you know why? Databases, I gotta update this. Update my variable. There we go. API. There we go. Collections. Okay. So I started to play with the API where I would pass it in there, get my token, and then I could, do things like get records. Interesting. That's boom. Invalid. Interesting. Okay, so I'm not sure what's going on here, but I was able to pull down the records. Come on, auth session, settings, pre-request script tests, post. What happened? Well, let's just do this. Let's just copy this and paste it over in my global variables. Okay. So again, once I have my token, I can then go there. Oh, come on, don't do this to me. Yeah, that's correct. Records layout, content, database, version, server. Huh. I don't know where that is. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna, because of that, maybe. There we go. Okay, so let's just put that in there. Okay, so I was able to use the data API and go get the records from that particular content layout. There we go. So every time I made a change, what I was manually doing is I was making the change, and I would go over to Postman and I would run this request. I would copy all that stuff. I would copy all this response here. Then I would take it over to my website and I would put it in a particular place. I actually had a curriculum. curriculum.js file. And then I would have to pull this, I would use some JavaScript to pull all this out. That was a lot of work to have to do, is to be able to just make the change in FileMaker, run it here in Postman, go over here to my VS Code, to my code base, and then make the change here, and then save the changes and publish to my website where the changes were happening. So unfortunately, that was how I was doing it, but it was nice because I could actually use FileMaker as my content management system, and I didn't have to actually write. I could just use it. That was good. I could write this here and then eventually get it over to my website. But what I discovered over the weekend with some helps with some friends is that I could make a change here. So let's just go to the first record. I'll add a couple exclamation points here. Then I could do a publish. And this is actually going to take all of this data up to my website, and it's going to, just make it happen. This is nice because my web page is actually a static site. All of this is static. It's generated. It was generated already, so that if someone Googles the JS dev environment, they are going to eventually get to my page here, because that's one of the words on this page. So it was really nice to be able to come here and to make some changes and then publish and have it just work like that. So I was pretty happy about that. So it's kind of funny because this is all I want to do now is if I go into the trainings and I add a new training group, like August training, we'll say it's like 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern time. It starts, I don't know, August 1st. And I can mark it as published, which I haven't done yet. Let's just do this quick. Publish. Set to public. So if flag publish equals 1, set field flag publish to not. Just reverse that, but that's fine. Else set field flag publish to 1. Okay, so this will make it publish to the website. So if I do that, now this one is set to publish to the website, and if I hit this button, publish to actual site. Is it going? Revalidate curriculum. Boom, let's just run the. There we go. Okay, let's see what the result is, because I felt like some, yep, okay, it worked. All right, so now when I go back to my curriculum page, I see that the August training schedule has been published. So that's pretty cool. Oops, I forgot something. I forgot like the total number of seats available. So I can re-push that to the site, and that will update that. So that's awesome, because now I have the ability to control my website content management system, anyway, the content from FileMaker, and I don't have to republish this every time. So I think that's pretty awesome. It feels, I think, for some of us, that feels a little old school nowadays, but this was fun and exciting to me. So I need to fix the sort order because right now it's at the top and I don't want that. So I could do it like that, and now it gets pushed down there. So that's great. Love it. So this is what I was playing with. This is just a regular website that I can now control 2 areas of content, this and this, which describes everything that we're going to talk about in the training session. My next step is to update this from FileMaker, and even like testimonials. I'll get, as I get more testimonials, I'll have a little smaller cards down here that showed the different testimonials that people have said. So that's pretty cool. I enjoyed figuring that out. And this is, well, my code is really, I'll show you the code here. The place that those discussions, so back over, and let's go back to the website. Where'd it go? So where these down here get generated, so these are the discussion, these are experiences, and these are discussions. So what I'm doing in my code is, this is React, so it's a little bit of a weird thing, but I have a function down here that goes and gets the curriculum from my file, from my that database. It goes to the content layout, and it goes and gets the records. It returns the records to this function, and then I pass it into this component, which is basically this whole page right here. I first do a sort on it because I want to sort by the sort field value. So that's what this little function does. Then I'm separating it out. I'm using a filter mechanism to take all of the curriculum and separate it out by priority. So anything that has a priority of 1 in the content, anything that has a priority of 1. You can't hear me, Don? Sam, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fine, yeah.
Don said he can't hear me, so I'll figure that out. Huh. That's weird. Hello, hello.
Maybe try to rejoin this session.
Yeah, sure. So anything here that has a priority of 1 gets separated into this variable. Everything that doesn't have a priority of 1 gets separated into this discussions. So I'm using a filter mechanism here. And then I'm using some JavaScript to map. And I'm basically creating this component card for each curriculum item in that experiences. And then down here, I'm doing the same thing for the discussions. So right here, discussions.map. This function right here takes each item in this, in the discussions and it creates a card for each one of them. So that's, oh, sorry, Don. So that's pretty cool. Sorry, Don. Can you hear me now? Hey, Don. Hello, hello, hello. All right, he's hello, Don. Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
I've been having problems with my wireless headset that for work. Not holding a charge.
Oh, okay. Sounds like it's time for a new one.
Yeah. So, it's not that old either, so
Yeah.
I don't know why, but so I took it off its charger last night and packed it in my bag last night instead of this morning, and overnight it discharges, but it shouldn't. I mean, when it's not connected to the computer, it shouldn't be doing anything, but it does. It just eats itself. So
this is cool to be able to control the content of my website from FileMaker using the data API, using some React and some JavaScript to be able to, in this case, I was mentioning, Don, I'm taking all of this content and I'm separating it in two areas, the experiences and the discussions. And
that's cool.
Based on the priority number here, it'll update. If I change all of these to, if I remove, you know, let's just omit this record. Oops. What is omit? T? I forget. Yeah, omit record is T. If I change all of these to, let's see, let's do 1. Change all of these to 4. Replace. Then if I need to publish. Now my experiences are just that one thing that that is a 1, and everything else gets put down to the other section. So that's pretty cool, I have to say. I enjoy playing with this, and I kind of just want to play with it all the time. I just want to keep updating my website, right, with little changes.
Where's Jeremy? Oh, he's playing with 1s and 4s.
Exactly. Yeah, this is it's just so cool because there's still some automation that I need to work out. Like now that I have a new class, I have to go get the payment link for that and put that into the FileMaker fields and so forth. So, you know, that's one thing, but that's not a big deal. So let's get rid of this August training for now, because I want that. There we go. So cool. Anyway, that's it. That's what I wanted to show. By the way, Don, there's 2 seats left in this upcoming binge group here.
I would love to do it.
So
When's it start?
the
24th.
24th, yeah. Just 4 days. 4 days, 3 hours each day. So yeah, it's a little bit of time, but anyway. Cool. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about and think about, I'm going to go ahead. Actually, what do I want to do here? How do I want to do this? I was thinking about another thing with regards to. Let's see if I can find something that would work. What do I want to do here? So I have a student who had a good idea for some the way that we can work with JavaScript in FileMaker. he has a client file. We'll just say that this is the file here. And he wanted to put two different integrations into it, two different widgets. So I'm just going to pick a couple of widgets that I've been working on. Data tables. We'll use this one here. So this one is, let's see what it looks like. I forget which one this is, but I will check it out. Okay, what's happening here? Okay, so yeah, this should work. Columns, okay, good. So I've got a FileMaker file here. Let's close this one. Oh, come on. There we go, okay. So I've got a FileMaker file that, oops, I need to start up the server, npm start. This integration has a data tables of just some data, some customers' data. It's displaying it in a table. And in last week's office hours in the afternoon, we updated the colors of this to make it look nice. But what he was asking me and what we were thinking about is, how do I do this integration and that other one where I've got a chart in there? Hopefully I put the code in there. I didn't. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so if I have these two integrations, how could I put them both into the same client file? So that's a good idea, and it made me wonder about that. Each of these in their own separate files has this HTML field, and this HTML right here handles the chart, and the HTML in this one, which is a lot shorter because it's using a bunch of online links, handles the HTML for the data table. So I was thinking about that, like, how could I, if I wanted to put both of these into my contacts table, how could I do that? Let's first, I want to do something first here. I want to think about that, see if you have a solution. But while I'm figuring that out, what is happening? Data tables and depth, is that the one? Data tables, which one is this one? So I'm going to just put the customers in here. Okay, so let's pretend I have this file with both customers and contacts, and I want to graph the contacts. But I also want to have a chart. But I also want to have a chart that shows like the sales for each customer. So at the very basic, these are two completely different things, two different integrations. The way that I have this set up is that they both go into the same fields inside of this table. And it made me think, oh, you know, this is just a field, this is just a table, this is just a record. And actually my student figured this out on his own, that I could go over to my client file and create an HTML table. And I could put in this table, I could put the HTML, and I could put a, name or type or something field. This allows me to designate which one. So like this first one is the data tables. And the next one is the C3 chart. So, just being very, okay, so that's good. So I've got two integrations in here. But I'm gonna keep with this one and start to work this out, because I've talked about in the past how to connect this the environment that we're using to our real life project, and I'll just briefly talk through it. First thing I'm going to do is grab all the code, all the scripts, put that into my client file. Don't think I have any errors. That's an error, but that's okay because that on open I don't actually need. Let's see if there are any other errors. Yes, this is an error. Somehow I need to go get the data, so I'm going to let this be an error right here. I'll fix that in a bit. Don't need that. There we go. Okay, so the rest of this is pretty good. I only have one error. All right, so I've got load web viewer that's going to load. Okay, let's create a new layout called web viewer, and we'll just paste in all of this. There we go. Okay, so we've got a web viewer called web, and we've got this. So now we have a load customers, and we'll change this to load chart. So one of these buttons is going to load the customers data. One of these is going to load the chart. Okay. For the sake of time in this, I need to find this is my chart. I'm going to grab just this load data script because this load data script pertains to just the chart. So basically what I'm trying to do is I'm setting this up so that this one web viewer can handle both the different types of widgets. Both widgets have their own data constructs. So I need one script per kinds of data. So I'll say load chart data and load list data. So I'm going to call these dependent on which button is pressed. So let's just set that up. We're going to say this is, which one is this? Customers. This is the list data or the list type. And this is the chart. Okay. So in my script, in my load web viewer script, I get the parameter, I get the widget type, and this is going to mess something up. I'll just okay. Okay, so depending on if widget type equals list, perform this hard code, what else, go get the what else, go load the chart data. So depending on the type that they press, that depending on the button that passes the script parameter, I'm going to go get data, different data. I now have to do the same thing for the HTML. So let's get the HTML in here. We've basically got two records. So for time, I'm going to take the the chart, or sorry, the list HTML and just paste it into that field. And I'm going to go to then the C3 and find that HTML, paste that into that field. So now it's a matter of updating this step to say if, actually, I'll just do this. I'm going to bring this down here and just put it in this space. So Actually, that's not going to work. How do I want to do this? I need to find the right data. I need to find the right record. So, oh, here's what I'll do. I'll do this. I'm going to create a subscript called load HTML. And I'll put that at the top, and I'll say set variable widget type get script parameter. And then I'm going to do an execute SQL. So I'll say select. I hope this works. I've never tried this. Set variable HTML execute SQL. Select HTML from HTML where name, actually I think name, I'm going to just do this, make sure. Name equals and then do widget type. Okay, so we get the widget type, and then we'll do a select to see. I'm going to see if this works. So what is equals C3? Okay, I can get that. How about list? List. Oh, you know what? I know why. Is it list? Nope, I think I know why. Should be data tables. Ah, that's it. Okay, so the parameter has to be either C3 or data tables. All right, great. So now that I've got the HTML, I can exit the script with the HTML. And then I have to go back here. Now I have to fix a couple things. Oh, I should do this. Perform script, set HTML, or load HTML, and we're going to pass in the widget type, which needs to be C3 or data tables. I think it has to be a capital C. Okay. Set variable get script results. Okay, so now I need to make sure that my web viewer has, yeah, I'm going to do C3 here. Got to match up the types, and this should be data tables. So I'm asking it to go get the code where the type is that. All right, so now I have to fix this, data tables, to go get the data. All right, so let's run this and see what happens. So widget type is data tables, great. So pass it in, get my HTML, oops. Great, that's the data tables HTML. And I construct my query, load. Oh wait, yeah, that's correct. Okay. Request. Oops, I got an error here I need to fix. Let's see here. Get rid of this. Don't want that. Okay. So, okay, so this is going to allow me to work with both. I can load the customers or I can load the chart, and it will eventually get me to the place where I can have both of them in the same thing. The key is to just know which HTML, and what my student came up with the idea of giving it a name, giving this record a name, and then going and finding that code depending on which button was pressed. So I think that's pretty cool. It doesn't look like I've been able to finish this. I've got some inconsistencies with names of functions and stuff. So that's unfortunate to be able to run it actually, but this is doing what I want it to do. I just need to fine tune it. It's getting either the customer's code base or the chart code base. And I think that's pretty awesome. I guess what I could do is got a couple of minutes left. So this one, load data, I think that's the here. I think the function name here is load chart. Okay. Let's see. The C3, yeah, I'm doing these a little bit differently. So it's interesting to try to match it up. Let me look at the code base. Where did that go? Here it is. Okay. So this one is load chart is the function name. So that's the one I've got to put in. And I'm looking for chart type and columns. That's my object. Okay, so let's do that. I think I can get this done. Load web viewer. So function. We're going to put that up there. We're going to put that there. And then let's see, this goes here because that's the JSON setup for the data tables. This one is data. What do I want? Data and type. So I'm going to say type. And I'll say bar. Here we go. Okay, so basically I'm using one script to do two different things. If the user presses the data tables button, it's going to go get the data. First of all, it's getting we're getting the code a little bit differently, so that's kind of annoying, but we're going to get the data here for the data tables. We've defined the function name and we've defined the data and then the JSON object which gets passed into the web viewer. The JavaScript here for the charts. I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to get the data. I don't need that request parameter. And I do need to I'll just put that up there. There we go. Put this one there just to have it in the right order. All right, so let's see if this works. So I load customers. Not getting any data. Let's see. Where's my request? Oh, that's right. Okay, so it does that. Then it goes and gets. Document is empty at offset 0. Interesting. Customers. Oh, did I have? That's interesting. Customers. Let's just run this here. Oh, I guess I have to run it in my. Let's try it again. Nope. Let's start from here. That's a pain in the butt. All right, so load customers. Layout is customers. The query is, and the limit is layouts customers limits 10,000 request. Pass that in. Oh, I don't have a request. Why? Oh, that's why. Oh, that's why. Okay. Set variable request get script result. I did need that script result. Okay, so now let's run this. Boom. Okay. Ah, very cool. Got it right in the last nick of time. One web viewer is able to load two different widgets from two different code bases here. And yeah, that's pretty awesome. I think that expands my use of using widgets quite a lot because I can have many different kinds of widgets in the same file and I don't have to worry about it. It's all comes down to this HTML table and just defining the code base with another field, type, name, whatever, that allows me to go fetch it in any way that I want. So very cool.
Oh, have you tried to load two different widgets on same layout? I mean, not share the same web viewer.
Yeah, it could certainly work. You could do, so this could be the, let's try it. Let's give this a name, a different name because they both have the same name. So web 2, and we'll say, we'll do the same thing. At that point, I might have separate scripts, but we'll stick with this for now. So load customers, load chart, beautiful. Cool. All right.
If you if you are going to, for example, you have two different data set and you want to use the same, for example, the CV chart code, then so what are you going to do?
Good question. So, I mean, if it's the data tables, what we did in our training session is we set up in the JavaScript the columns. We set up the columns here in a separate file, and then we're passing in the type of columns to use, and then we're telling JavaScript, hey, if the column type is customers, I want you to use the customer columns. If they're admissions, use the admissions columns. So we actually got that to work in the training session where I turn off demo. I can load customers and I can load other data here. Actually, that didn't work. Let's try it again. Let me start up the server because I think there's something wrong. npm start. So yeah, that could be done. What my student did was say, there we go. This is what I want. So there we go. Now I have two separate pieces of data. What my student was like, oh, you know what? I can just make. He had like 10 data tables that he wanted to display, each with different columns. So he just updated the columns object in here to describe the columns. And then he copied the code from here into record 1. And then he went back and he updated the columns over here. He copied the code back into record 2 and so forth. So that certainly could be done. But yeah. So anyway, that's it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm going to have a better video on this because I've kind of stumbled around here, but I want to do a demo video of me walking through this to make a little bit more sense. But anyway, all right. Well, Don, do you have any thoughts or questions?
I could definitely see the use of this for some of the dashboard stuff that maybe come up here shortly. So
very much so. In fact, well, yeah, but I would even go further if a dashboard is necessary, and I would just we could use one web viewer, and it's one web viewer with many different parts in it. So
that would be one thing, but being able to swap stuff out or drill down type of things with it.
Totally, completely. That makes complete sense too. So cool. All right. Well, it's time to go. I gotta move on here, but thanks for joining me. I had a good time with you guys today. We got to do something. So cool. Thanks.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate it. Bye-bye.